Reading from the Japa Reform Notebook by His Holiness Satsvarup Das Goswami Maharaj. We are very liberal. We distribute Krishna consciousness to all persons. But the glories of the holy name should not be preached to persons who incur further offense. You should not be an instrument for that. Actually, until one becomes himself submissive and purified by following the path of Krishna consciousness, he cannot understand these elevated principles. But those who are innocent, they can be approached. That is the preaching spirit. Also, initiation into the holy name should not be given to someone who doesn't have faith in the holy name, in the scriptures, and the spiritual master. That is also an offense.
In the Bhagavad Gita 15:15, Lord Krishna says, Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. He says, I give remembrance, I give knowledge, and I give forgetfulness. So Lord Krishna gives forgetfulness to those living entities who want to proceed with their independently enacted activities, independent of Krishna, and they are very, very much intensely focused on fulfilling their own plans, and they have no interest in Krishna. So seeing their heart's situation as super soul, Krishna gives them facility for doing that. And even if such living entities encounter devotees in the marketplace, since their orientation is different, even if they meet the devotee somehow, by some fluke, by some chance, they will try to superimpose their sense gratificatory plan on the devotees. And they will be unwilling to accept Krishna's plan for them, because they are actually guided by forgetfulness applied by the super soul. On the other hand, if there is a living entity caught up in this whirlpool of Maya, but he is sincerely seeking the truth, he is looking for solutions to life, seeking for knowledge of God, then Krishna arranges for them to receive the knowledge. So as soon as they meet the devotees, they start making inquiries, coming to the temple, taking shelter of the process. So the process gradually starts cleansing them, and the knowledge keeps building up more and more, and they become more and more surrendered to the path. And if there is a devotee who is already surrendered to the path and practicing, but due to old vasanas becomes little forgetful momentarily and is going little off track, for such a devotee, seeing the devotee's sincerity, Lord will give him remembrance, smriti. So he will give the remembrance by which he will make them feel remorseful, repentant, and cry for their mistakes, and again wake up and reinstate themselves in the proper path. So we can see now we are all in the third category. We have not developed hatred for the Lord. We were actually looking for some shelter, and we got the books, we got the devotees. So we were not subject to apohanam, but we were subjected to jnanam. But after building that knowledge, still when we commit mistakes, Lord keeps giving smriti. But even after one becomes a devotee, if one is not sincere, then Lord will not give smriti. He will not give remembrance. Therefore, we will see that at the surface of our heart, whatever realizations we feel, we receive, depending on our sincerity, those realizations will encourage us or discourage us. You will see that. Like if pure spiritual realizations awaken in the heart, that actually encourages us in devotional service to progress ahead. But if you are insincere, you will see that those realizations will be lacking. And one will not feel any Krishna consciousness. Rather, one will again see the material desires overpowering a person, and which is a sign of insincerity. Actually, Krishna's mercy is oceanic, and it is very, very capable of destroying our anarthas. Only our willingness is lacking. Due to our willingness lacking in surrender to Krishna, therefore we are not getting the remembrance of Krishna many times. We lack that remembrance. And for those who repeatedly were reminded by Krishna, and they have become very sincere, strict and serious practitioners for a prolonged period of time, they awaken Raganuga Bhakti for Krishna. And in that stage, Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam ye namam upayantite. This is for the Raga devotees, Raga Marga devotees. He says, for them I personally give them the direction by which they can come back to me. I give them the intelligence by which they can come back to me, because they are constantly engaged in devotional service and they are lovingly engaged in my devotional service. He says, in this way there are 4 stages. A forgetful person, and a person who is receiving knowledge, a person who is reminded by the Lord himself in sadhana bhakti stage, hey, don't go to Maya, come to me. Like that. And a person who is properly situated, steadily situated, for him the Lord keeps supplying him good intelligence continuously, moment after moment, and he is able to experience the ecstasy in Krishna consciousness by dint of his sincere surrender to the Lord. So in these 4 categories, the first category is the category which is being spoken here. Those who are subject to forgetfulness, one should not do 2 things. Don't glorify Krishna's fine pastimes, and don't give them initiation, because they are actually unfit. By doing that, they will blaspheme and they will invite a ghastly future for themselves, he says. And the second category of people who want knowledge, and the third category of people who want to be reminded, these are ideal candidates for our preaching. So we can preach and inspire them and bring them to Krishna's lotus feet. And those who are in the 4th stage of Raga Bhakti, we can actually take their shelter and get inspired ourselves. And in this way, while chanting of the holy name, one should take care of these prescriptions given by the Acharyas and the Lord himself in the scriptures in order to make sure that we don't hurt ourselves while preaching, and at the same time we don't hurt other living entities also. It should be ultimately leading to the progressive life in Krishna consciousness when we preach. Harinam Prabhu ki